We will have so much winning if I get elected that you may get bored with winning.
Never get bored with winning. Welcome back to the Daily Wrap. Despite some slippage in the early primary state of Iowa, Donald Trump continues to lead the pack for his party's nomination to be president. So what else is new? What's new is that the Republican Party is finally beginning to acknowledge that it's well within the realm of possibility that Mr. Trump will indeed be its standard bearer come 2016. The verdict is the result of a panel of Republican strategists, operatives, and activists convened by the political magazine Politico. The opinion of that panel may have been best expressed by Ed Rollins, longtime Republican presidential political strategist and 2008 campaign chair for Mike Huckabee's run for the White House, who said, speaking to the National Review, Trump is a serious player for the nomination at this time. So are the days of thinking that Trump is just a bit of summer entertainment now permanently behind us, Jonathan?
I remember the first day we were on here, and I told you this campaign is going to go somewhere, and you're like, there's just no way.
You're telling the truth. That's
and
right.
The thing that is, I think that is so impressive about this is that Trump has rallied the troops, so to speak, but the executives or the GOP backers, the financial backers, are not happy about this. But the rest of the conservative, conservative Americans are. The majority of them are happy about it.
Not the majority, because we see in the polls he has by far a plurality of the votes, but not a majority.
You wait and see when these other guys drop out.
Heather, you're not buying it.
I don't think so. I think he's got everybody he's going to get. And in fact, we've seen a drop in Iowa, right? So
let's talk about that. We talked about this last night, and Noah Rothman was on, and he brought up something that everybody seems to be missing. I didn't hear anybody talking about it today. Club for Growth is running a few $1 million worth of negative ads against Trump in Iowa, and apparently it's having an effect. What does that tell us, Steve? Does that mean that he can be gotten by some negative advertising?
First of all, coming up at 7 o'clock, I have both.
Whose show's at 7?
At my show, I have both Mike Huckabee and Rick Santorum, who are going to weigh in on all of this.
Both of whom won the Iowa primaries.
Yes, both won the Iowa primaries. And here's the deal. I mean, Stephen Moore thinks that Donald Trump's tax plan is terrific. He thinks a lot of them are, but Donald Trump specifically. So I don't know what the Club for Growth's problem is with it. Nonetheless, look, to now realize, Ed Rollins, who I've known for years, I love him, but whoever doesn't realize by this time that Donald Trump is not only serious, but so is Ben Carson, who, as Heather alluded to, overtook him in 2 polls in Iowa. Between the two of them, they represent the resentment towards what's going on in Washington because the Republicans refuse to take on Barack Obama, and they've been lied to, and they're sick of it, and that's why no one is going to beat Trump and or Carson.
Well, as it happens, there's one more piece of additional proof that suggests Trump may indeed go all the way. Watch this.
Now there's this Trump thing going on, I gather. He's doing okay in the polls for a while, but he's not going to be the nominee either. I will bet anyone on the stage, a nice dinner, that Donald Trump is not going to be the nominee.
Bill Kristol saying that Donald Trump won't be the nominee, and if there's one thing that history has taught us is that when Bill Kristol of the Weekly Standard makes a prediction, you pretty much want to assume that the complete opposite is what's going to happen.
I don't know about that. I like
he's wrong all the time.
I don't know about
that. But what
that.
about our predictions at this table? Anyone want to take Kristol up on his bet? Will Donald Trump be the nominee, Jonathan?
I think he will be.
Heather?
I do not.
Steve?
I think he will be.
Okay, 2 out of 3 say he's going to be him. Will we be sitting then at this table in 60 days asking if we must now take Ben Carson very seriously as the potential nominee of his party, or are we there already? How about the Rubio-Fiorina or Fiorina-Rubio ticket that Kristol's predicting is going to be it, Steve?
I don't think that,
do you take Ben Carson seriously now as a real potential candidate?
I think he's been a real potential candidate. I think he's proved that by now. I don't think Carly Fiorina is the right one. She has done no media since the last debate. I don't think she's serious anymore, to be honest with you, as far as wanting it. I think there'll be a female on the ticket, quite possibly, but it's going to be someone who's currently serving in government.
Right. May not be her.
Yeah.
I think that's actually a fair assessment, Heather.
I'm not so sure about that. I think she's always wanted the VP spot, and I think that she still wants the VP spot, and I think that a Rubio-Fiorina ticket would do well. I do think Ben Carson is a very serious candidate. I think his boost in the polls.
Yesterday, Ben Carson came out with a statement saying that he wanted to preserve the Department of Education to monitor political speech on campus.
Yep.
That doesn't trouble any of you?
It troubles me, but I know his point.
What if it was the Democrats monitoring political speech?
I'm sure. I haven't heard it, and
He
I'm
said
sure.
it.
Well,
Yeah,
I want to
he
hear
did
the
say
whole
it.
thing.
We actually played it, I
I'm
believe,
sure what
last
he
night.
meant was. I'm sure it was in the context of monitoring the squelching of free political speech on campus.
Actually, I think he was talking about professors who lean way to the left.
Well, at the expense of conservatives
you
being able
can't-
to give their own opinions.
Well, you
Let me
can't
just-
do that.
Yeah,
Government
that First
can't be
Amendment,
sticking
yeah,
their nose into
neither
what they
way.
say on college.
Well,
From either
this
side.
administration threatens colleges and universities that get public funding. Absolutely.
Well, then they shouldn't either, if they are.
Well,
It's just you can't do that.
No,
so I don't know about
absolutely
Ben
not.
Carson being serious, but do you think that everyone must now acknowledge that Donald Trump is most likely going to be the GOP nominee? Let us know. NewsmaxTV.com/comments. Coming up, and then there were three. A Democrat candidate drops out of the race.